You are listening to If These Woods Could Talk, a production of the Rhinelander District Library and part of the WXPR Community Podcast Project, an initiative to amplify community voices. More info can be found at WXPR.org. The episode you're about to listen to is the first one we recorded. Born in Sugar Camp, Butch Mattek has made a career for himself in music, touring regionally with bands like Premier and Bad Influence. So, climb aboard the pickle and let's hit the road with Butch.
If this was a toy, would you sit and listen to tales of those who came before us in the virgin pines with the river glistening? Sit on back with friendlips, share some stories about butterflies, days gone by on the sunset hill of glory.
Well, Butch, thanks for being here.
Yep, you bet.
Didn't know, so I know you've been in the area for a long time. Are you a lifelong?
I grew up in Sugar Camp. Went to school in Three Lakes. I went to college in Point. And pretty much after that, I've lived in Rhinelander my whole life. I have a house on Maple Street and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
but growing up, I knew all the musicians in the Rhinelander area and stuff like that. My parents used to take me out when I was a kid to go watch the guitar players then, because you didn't have the internet or anything like that. So I was 7, 8 years old when my mom and dad were taking me out to go watch like Johnny Pitlick and there were some other guys too that were around the areas that were very good guitar players and stuff at the time. And my uncles all played and stuff. I think I've been playing since I've been 4. Like, I've had a guitar since I've been 4 years old. And the first time I ever got on stage, I was 11. I played a whole night's gig with my uncle's band. They were called Billy and the Schoolboys, and they were from the area. They played like 50s and 60s music, and got done playing the whole night. And I played mostly guitar and did some singing and stuff, and they paid me like $75 at the end of the night. And I was 11. I'm like, yeah, I think I want to get a dab into this a little bit. And ever since then, I've just been, even like right after that, I started getting into like bands in high school. I was in a band called Nova. We were voted like the worst band in high school 3 out of the 4 years that I was in high school. The last year we were voted, we did better, but there's all 4 guys were from Sugar Camp, and we must have played like 5 or 6 years. Like, did tons of gigs around, all young guys. I mean, I was probably the youngest, but there was like John Storr, he was a couple years older than me, and Joe Devereaux, and Chuck Devereaux was the same age as me. But then we'd do that and play rock music, and then like on Sundays, all of us were the member of the church in Sugar Camp, and then we'd sing at the church on Sundays and stuff. So it was a close knit. I'm still pretty good friends with all those guys and stuff like that.
Cool. What kind of stuff were you playing then?
Oh, it was all 80s music.
80s, yeah.
Yeah. More like pop 80s stuff, like Men at Work and stuff like that, like the dance stuff and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then, like after that, I started getting into, once I got to college, there was just more music around. It's what was going on. I was introduced to a lot of bands I never heard of up here and stuff like that. So my music style kind of changed. In fact, like one which is kind of funny, I was probably like 18 at the time, and I never really heard Pink Floyd before until I got to college. And the first time I heard Pink Floyd, I'm like, this is my favorite band. And it still is to this day.
Still is.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool getting some different views and stuff like that on music. Even like today, I have a bunch of younger relatives and stuff like that are in their 20s and stuff like that. And they come over, I'm like, play the music that you're listening to. I want to hear what you're listening to now. It's way different than what I was listening to, and it's good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good stuff out there right now. A lot of really good musicians.
It's good to, yeah.
Yeah.
Good that you're trying to keep up with it.
Yep. Yeah. I know a lot of
Stuff.
guys that they don't really listen to any new music or stuff like that. They're kind of stuck in whatever genre they're stuck in, and they're not open to anything else. I like to listen to all the new stuff and all the people coming out and stuff like that to see what's going on and how music is changing. One thing I did notice is like country music has gone like a 70s pop. That's the only way I listen to it when I hear it. I'm like, man, this sounds like 70s pop music. Even though it's country. There's a lot of good country musicians out there now. And then like after when I went to college, I started hooking up with these couple guys from actually in Rhinelander, Rod Bruette and Chris McDonald, and my brother Michael.
Is this Premiere?
Yeah. And we had a big bus. We traveled all over the United States and stuff like that. And it was a green bus, so everybody called it the Pickle. And it was you saw the bus coming, you knew exactly who was coming down the road and stuff like that. But God, we must have traveled on the road for probably 4 or 5 years. Had the same manager as Prince did and stuff like that out of Minnesota. And the Jets. I don't know if you remember the Jets. They had some pop hits back in like the late 80s and 90s and stuff like that. If you heard their songs, you'd probably go, "Oh, I've heard that before." And that was quite interesting. We did a lot of like military bases and stuff like that. And it was always interesting because all of us had long hair at the time. We'd be sitting like you get done playing our music and we'd go sit down at the bar, and all of a sudden you'd feel like a tap on your shoulder. It's like, would you like to dance? It's like, hey, you turn around and we have face. It's like, no, thank you. But it was always we always had a good time on the road.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't have to do that again. I'm too old for that stuff now, but it was a really good time at the time. You know. Late nights, you get done with the gig and everybody would go party. I don't think it's like that too much anymore. I think everything's kind of more earlier, and everybody's like home by midnight now and stuff like that, or 1 o'clock. It seems like to me. But years ago, you'd get done playing, and everybody that was at that bar would go to a party afterwards, and then a couple hours later, everybody go home and stuff like that. And it's still kind of funny because once in a while I'll still get hey, Butch, remember that party we were back in like 19? I'm like, no, not really.
Nope.
Yeah. And then after that, I hooked up with a band up here. Because a couple of the guys that I was playing with, they moved down to Milwaukee. And they're still playing down there. But then I hooked up with a band called the Wisconsin River Band up here. That was a fairly big band for up in like the Eagle River area and stuff like that. And I think all those guys were like 10 years older than me and stuff like that. But they played a variety of music. But they're always booked all the time and stuff like that. And I don't know how many years I did that. Quite a few. And we still do gig once in a while, if something calls for it or whatever. And then after that, I started playing with Kevin Vick and Ralph Olson in a group called it was Bad Influence at the time. Now it's just The Influence, because we're just not as we're not bad anymore. Yeah. But other than that, that's pretty much where like I'm at now and stuff. And I'm still playing out and stuff like that. I still like write a lot of music in my basement. I have Pro Tools and stuff like that set up.
Yeah.
So I like to sit down there and write a lot of my own music and stuff like that. And
you self-recording and
yeah, I do everything myself. Yeah, I got a little studio set up in there, and I got a lot of stuff, a lot of music that I've never put out and stuff like that. But there's a lot down there, and I enjoy doing that. I actually enjoy doing that more than like playing out nowadays. I don't know if it's just like the engineering part of it or whatever, because I'll sit and listen to something over and over again until like that exact sound is where I want it or what I think it should be and stuff like that. I really like doing that. I enjoy recording other people too.
Do you record other people down there?
Yeah, and I enjoy doing that. I would say even more than I like playing now. And I used to love playing. I still love playing, but I like that aspect of it more.
Sure. Can I ask you for a couple of names? People you've recorded with there?
I see Dennis McGinty. I wish I knew their Adam and Mike. They were like a bluegrass. They wrote their own bluegrass stuff, and they did like 10 or 12 songs. And that turned out actually pretty good. And none of those guys had ever really like played out or anything before and stuff like that, so they were kind of like new to the.
Yeah. And
it was interesting watching them think of how they want to put their music, and they'd ask, do you think we should? I'm like, it's your music. You can do whatever you want with it. Music it doesn't really have any boundaries or anything. You can pretty much do what you want with it and stuff like that. And it seems like it's more like that than what it used to be like in the old days. Old days, you'd have a couple verses. You'd have to have a chorus. It's not like that anymore.
So a little bridge.
Yeah, a bridge maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but that way the music's kind of changed. Sometimes you'll hear music now with just choruses, no verses and stuff. But yeah, that's I like the way that the new music's actually kind of going right now. There's a lot of really good rock groups out there now that I don't think rock's as big as what it used to be. It seems like bluegrass is like really coming to its own lately.
I would agree with that.
The last couple years, a lot of places are going to the more of acoustic kind of a stuff, kind of. And some of the groups won't even have drummers and stuff like that. They'll just.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a banjo, a guitar, and a bass.
You got a banjo, yeah, and maybe somebody playing a cajones up there that's never played the drums before or something like that. It's like, I'm a cajon player. Okay, you go, buddy. But yeah, other than that, I did some music for a movie back in the 90s that was filmed up here, actually. I can't remember. I don't know if it was the 8 Lake Spider or whatever, but I have 2 songs on that.
Oh, cool.
On that movie and stuff. Yeah, it's like you listen to it now, it's like, wow, is that cheesy? And they had a nice recording studio set up in Gleason years ago. The guy that was making these movies up here, his kid was getting into recording. They had a killer recording studio in Gleason. You'd walk into like the middle of the woods, and there was this huge. I don't know whatever happened to it. I really don't. They had a lot of money stuck into that, and I really don't know what happened to it. I know it closed down and they went bankrupt or something like that, and that was the end of that and stuff like that. Yeah. And I do a duo with a girl named Nikki Gooley. She sings and I just play acoustic guitar.
Is this the same Nikki from Nikki and the Nimrods?
Nikki, yeah, that's Nikki, yeah. Yeah, she, after that band broke up, she still wanted to do some singing and stuff like that. And it was kind of strange because her and her husband at the time, Joel, played in the same band. So once they decided they were going to break up or split up or whatever, go their own separate ways,
Fleetwood Mac kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
I've heard this album. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I still play with Nikki once in a while. I still talk with Joel, and he still plays once in a while and stuff like that.
I think I saw on Facebook Premiere you and Rod just played about a month ago.
Rod and I just played about a month ago, and we do a bunch of like old 90s stuff, the 90s rock or whatever you call it now. At the time it used to be called heavy metal, but now it's no, it's not heavy metal. It's just classic rock.
Yeah.
And I'd say one thing about being up here, all the musicians are like one big family. You go, it doesn't matter where you go out, watch a band and stuff like that. Everybody's treated like family, and it's pretty cool. We do a Sunday jams. We've been doing those for like 20 years, and the amount of musicians that we meet and come up there and play with and stuff like that is just amazing. There are a lot of really good musicians that don't go out and play. They're sit at home and play, and then you get them out and they play them. They're just phenomenal. And they're like, I don't want to get up and play. Like you kind of you get freeze up, and it's like, nope, I don't want to play out in front of anybody and stuff like that. I do it for my own enjoyment. It's like, well, you got something going on good there. You might want to reconsider that, But I remember when I was young, I used to get sick all the time before playing a gig. I was like 10 minutes before we were going on stage, I was throwing up.
Oh.
And then I was fine, but I used to get really, really super nervous. And then eventually, I don't know, somewhere it just kind of stopped, and it just kind of was like, that's just who I am or whatever.
This again.
Yeah, I don't get nervous too much anymore, unless it's like some big event where we're like opening up for somebody and we got like all the big equipment and they got sound guys and stuff like that, and we're playing for somebody that everybody knows and stuff like that. And then I still get a little nervous. One thing I would like to mention is I met a guy probably like 25 years ago, and I met him at a jam, and he was a fantastic guitar player, and I started talking to him. He was the guitar player for Hetty's Mike Somerville, and him and I became really good friends. And I ended up playing in a couple bands with him and stuff, and he just passed away a couple years ago. But he ended up moving to Tomahawk, I don't want to say like 10, 15 years ago after he left Hetty's, because him and the keyboard guy, they got in a big rift. Because Mike wrote all the songs, but the other guy had the name and the band name and everything like that. So Mike's like, he did get to play with Hetty's before he passed away one more time, but he wrote all their big tunes that they had and stuff like that. But that guy was a phenomenal guitar player. He's probably like one of the best guitar players I've ever seen in my life. He would have, if he didn't really want to play, like, because he's played huge gigs before, and so he'd tell me about, I remember playing with Van Halen and Journey and stuff. There's 100,000 people out there, blah blah blah. Sometimes he'd be like, I don't really want to be here today, and it kind of playing with just kind of whatever. But then if he gets something under his butt, and if somebody said something, he would just smoke them. It was just unbelievable how good that guy was. But yeah, a lot of, like I said, a lot of really good musicians around here. Even now, with, like you said, David Walters, they got what's that girl's name up in Eagle River that's younger? That's Jenna Jane. She's playing all the time.
There was just a 16-year-old girl at the bar, at the bar.
That sang?
Yeah.
And she played acoustic guitar?
Yeah.
And I heard she was really good.
She was good.
Yeah.
I don't remember Felicity.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, you go on YouTube and punch in like some of these young kids that are playing nowadays, and they're like 8, 9 years old. And this one girl named, or I think her name's Nandy. She plays the bass. She's like, these are my top 10 bass lines that I enjoy playing. It's like Rush and all kinds of like, and she is, I mean, it makes you feel like not wanting to play. I mean, they're that good at that age and stuff like that. And even like some of these young bands that are coming up that they're teenagers and stuff like that, and you watch them play, and it's like, wow, they're right there. I don't know. Who knows if they'll make it big or whatever, but there's definitely a good young base of talent growing up, because for a while, I would say probably like maybe 10 years ago, I was starting to think music's kind of going downhill. It seemed like it just did for a while or whatever. There was nothing really good going on, nobody good coming out. There hasn't been like a phenomenal guitar player to come out, and I have no idea.
We've kind of moved away from that guitar virtuosity, right?
It's almost like it's a lost art. They're definitely going away from the electric guitar. And it's just, I mean, there's tons of other instruments and stuff like that, and probably people had it thrown in their face for so many years. You know, every time you turn on a song, there's that beginning riff from a guitar or something like that everybody. But especially electric guitar there definitely is not as much of a. I know more guys that play acoustic guitar now than I do electric guitar, and it never used to be that way. It used to be all the electric guitar players played, and they dabble with the acoustic. They could play acoustic, but they'd just rather play the electric guitar, But it does seem like it's gone away from that. But now it seems like some of the old music is starting to make some of the young groups are playing like some of the older music and stuff like that now, and
I do think it's all
it's just
cyclical.
Continuous. Yeah, yep, definitely. But I was just trying to think about that. I'm like, when was the last time there was a guitar player? Everybody was like, "Oh man, that guy's like the best," or "He's phenomenal." That guy from Extreme is pretty good. Button Chord or something like that. But he's in his 50s now, so he's been playing 30 years already. So it's not like nothing new or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't even think of any young guitar players. I mean, they're definitely out there, but just nobody that you would notice or something like that.
For me, who comes to mind is Jack White, but even he's not a spring chicken anymore.
He's 40 years old
Yeah.
now. And that I would say that was probably the last guitar player that was like, that people knew of. It's like, oh. And now I think he's just playing with other groups now. I don't think. I saw he was on some album with somebody else's. And I know this kind of sounds stupid, but I'm kind of looking forward to the Dolly Parton rock album that she's putting out with all these rock, like the guy from bass player from Motley Crue, and she's got Steve Perry singing a song with her, and she's got all these guitar players from like the 90s that were big and stuff she's doing a rock. I'm like, I want to hear it. I want to see what she sounds like. She's got great musicians behind her, so I'm sure it'll be good and stuff like that.
She's one of those people that can get any musician she wants to play with.
I think so. Yeah, she's one of those few people that man, it seems like she's been doing. It doesn't look like she ages any, which is strange. I mean, maybe a couple of years, but I mean nothing major. But and she's still got a great voice and stuff like that. And then other than that, like things I'm gonna do some sound work for like the music thing they're doing on Tuesday nights down at the park.
Oh yeah.
Some of the groups I'm gonna be doing sound for and stuff like that. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that. I'm glad they finally got something up here where they could get some music. The place they have by Triggs is nice, but that's just it's too small of an area for people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that stage is nice.
I was at the park for Scott Kirby last week. Ton of people.
Scott's a good guy.
Yeah.
I like Scott a lot.
Yeah.
I think the first time oh man, he must have been just a teenager the first time I saw him and stuff like that.
No bad. Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to get rid of that acoustic to make some money there, Scott. No, not anymore. No, it's not like that.
It's not.
He's turned into a phenomenal guitar player and a very good entertainer. Every time I see him, he comes up and gives me a big hug and stuff like that, and that's pretty cool. Like I said, yeah, the musicians up here are pretty much a big family. Almost everybody knows or have heard of everybody that's plays up here and stuff like that, and it's kind of cool. You'd be playing, all of a sudden one of your buddies comes up and he says, "Come up and play a song, sing a song with us," and stuff like that. And it does seem like the music scene's kind of picking up a little bit more around this area. Like I said, for a while there, it was kind of dying out, and now it seems like it's the bars and stuff are starting to get more music in again. They have gone to like I said, more acoustic stuff and stuff like that in the bars and stuff like that. It's just a sign of the times.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's getting together. Man, nice to hear that it's less competition and more, friendly.
Yeah, I never. It hasn't been like that for at least up here that I recognize. There was a couple groups that Equinox and Storm. When we still knew one another, but there was definitely some competition going on there and stuff like that. And it used to be you'd have nights where like some of the guitar players from the different bands would show up. And, I don't know, what Cutting Heads is? You ever seen the movie Crossroads?
Oh, with the
Steve
Ralph
yeah.
Macchio?
We used to, years ago, that's what we'd do. Like at the end of the night, we'd cut heads. Everybody'd get their chance to play. You'd have like 4 or 5 dudes all played rock guitar. You play one tune, everybody got their chance to play their solo, and you cut heads like that to see, by the end of the night, you knew who was the better one coming out at the end and stuff like that. And it was a lot of fun. That was actually pretty cool times doing that kind of stuff like that. And nobody hated one another or anything, but there was definitely some competition, at least guitar-wise, going on around the area than like there is now and stuff like that. Everybody's super friendly, musicians-wise up here. Everybody's pretty easygoing. There's always that 1 or 2 people that always think they're way above everybody else, but not too many. I can't even think of anybody like that off the top of my head, and if I did, I can't say any names, so it's not even worth it,
Yeah.
Other than that, that's pretty much how I got a couple of CDs out. One's called The Influence. I don't even know how long ago that's been out and stuff like that. And like I said, I do some recordings at home and stuff, but I keep that music to myself. A lot of stuff I'm like, I don't want anybody to hear that stuff. It's kind of strange, some strange stuff. Is that really even music? I'm pretty sure it was. I pushed a couple notes.
Any chance it sees the light of day?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Once in a while. I'll go listen to it again, and some of this stuff's pretty good. Then there's other stuff that's like, what were you thinking? It's like, must have been having a good night that night or something. Must have watched something morbid on TV, because there's definitely some. But yeah, like I said, that's pretty much the story of my life, playing up here and stuff like that. I still enjoy playing. Most of the guys I know end up playing till they die. When I was in my 20s, I thought I'd be done playing music by the time I was 40. I'd be like, I'll probably make enough money by the time I'm 40 to just, well, that didn't happen. But everybody, all the musicians I know play until, that's where I think I'll be. I think my ex-wife always used to tell me, you're going to end up dying on stage. Why would you tell me that?
Oh, don't tell me
So now every time I'm up on stage, I got to think about that. But yeah, I have actually known some friends up here that have died on stage. There was a group from Anaco that they were playing at the Labor Temple years ago. Do you remember the Labor Temple at all?
I don't personally
On
know.
the corner where the bank is, there used to be the pizza, Little Caesars was there.
Yeah,
Years
okay.
ago, they had a big hall. They would have music 7 days a week. Like, once in a while on Mondays we wouldn't have, but they were all from groups around here. So, like, if Tuesday night the band would play, all the other bands would come on Tuesday night and watch them play it. And then when the band played on Wednesday, all the bands would come on, watch that. So it was kind of cool because we'd all get together and stuff like that and watch the other bands. But they had one group up there that one night, and the bass player keeled over
Oh, man.
while he was playing. I think that's the only time I saw anybody die on stage. Well, that's enough of that.
I guess.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. But yeah,
Sounds like a great show.
yeah, it was different. Labor Temple, that place used to be where all the musicians hung out there.
Yeah.
And it was everybody. We were all kind of bummed when they tore it down, but I mean, it was pretty old. But they had a stage downstairs, and they'd have a stage upstairs. So sometimes they'd have like two bands playing at once and stuff like that. And it was a pretty big place. You could fit a couple hundred people in there. And those were always pretty good times back then, Like I said, what was cool is that the band, if your band wasn't playing, you'd go out and watch another band that night and stuff like that. Now I'm starting to get a little too old. If I'm not playing it, I'd rather just stay at home.
I suppose.
Yeah. Once in a while, I still like to. Depends who's playing. I like to listen to as much live music as I can, because therefore, like I said, there for a while, I wasn't quite sure what live music was going to be anymore. A lot of people going to DJs, and they still do a lot of DJ stuff. Those guys are making more money than the guys that are playing in the bands. The DJs are, which is crazy, but that's the way it goes. And the karaoke was huge for a while. I don't know if it still is. I'm sure it probably still is. People, I mean, I don't think that'll ever go away. But people would rather go do that than go watch live bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of changed back a little bit. But yeah, the karaoke, that you get some people when you're playing and stuff. It's like, well, do you sing? Oh yeah. Well, we thought like maybe in a band or something. No, they're talking like karaoke and stuff. That don't count.
I sing in my shower.
Yeah. I'm better actually in my shower than live. But yeah, we get, and it's like, oh yeah, I sing. And then you talk to them afterwards. It's like, I dabble into karaoke. Okay. There were for years I wouldn't, if there was karaoke going, I wouldn't even step in. That's stupid. I know it's stupid now, but it's just like, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah. How many times are you going to hear Journey? That's the big one.
Or what was that other one? Wagon Wheel, or
Yeah.
and it's just, oh boy. And my family loves karaoke. So we have family outings, and they get the karaoke going, and it doesn't bother me as much so much anymore for some reason. But there for a while, I really disliked the karaoke. Like, if I could go back in time and take out that dude that made that up, I would think about it. But other than that, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Unless you got any questions for me.
I did want to ask if you'd expound a little bit on the pickle.
Oh, the pick of the green bus?
Yeah. So how many people are in this band at that time?
We had 5 guys, and then probably 3 one guy did sound, a light guy, and then one other guy that came with us just for like helping hauling equipment and stuff like that. About a quarter of the bus was like all for band equipment and stuff like that. We had a lot of stuff. I mean, it was like towers of speakers and stuff like that, and then the inside of the bus was made up. We had a small shower, and then you had beds for like 8 people, and then you have a spot where everybody kind of sat, and I would say at the time just sat and drank until we got to the job. We'd have a gig like in Eau Claire and stuff. We'd get a case of beer and hop in the bus or the pickle and go right down the road. And I don't know how we did it. I really don't know how. I mean, we must have been pretty buzzed up by the time we got to the gig. I mean, we had to have been.
You draw straws for who's driving?
No, it was me or another guy.
Yeah.
None of the other guys would want to drive the bus. So we had the keyboard guy, Steve Zimmer, once drove the bus, and one of the guys started crying because, make him stop driving. And I'm like, he was like,
This is fun.
yeah. Yeah, we'd have, at one time my parents, they're dead now, so it doesn't matter. They were like, we're leaving out of town for the weekend. We don't want to, no parties at the house. If the neighbors see that there's any more than like one car over at the house, they're supposed to call the police. So we got done playing that night, and we're like, everybody in the bus, we're going out to my house or not. We had, I don't know, 40, 50 people on that bus, all from Rylander, and they came out to Sugar Camp. And then we'd get done and have to drive them all the way back into town and drop them off and stuff like that. But they eventually found out we had a party because like, the girls wore those big shoes all the time back, those big heels, and they left all kinds of pot marks all over my mom's.
Oh, no.
My mom's flooring in the kitchen. Yeah. Yeah, that bus got like 6 miles to the gallon.
Sweet.
Top speed, if you're going downhill, 65 maybe.
5.
I don't know what year the bus was. We fixed it up pretty. My dad actually put all the money and work into that bus and stuff like that. But yeah, you could hear that bus coming around the corner and stuff like that. And the bus is still actually alive. So one of my friends has got the bus. He's like, we should take that back out. I'm like, no. We actually got caught in a tornado once in that bus. And after we were like in the middle of the tornado, and it passed finally, and then the bus wouldn't start after that. And I remember being stuck in Minnesota for like 3 days. And I took that bus. I am not a mechanic, but I took that bus apart piece by piece. And we found out what it was. I got a part for that and put the bus all back together, and it worked. And that's the end of my mechanical days. We had everything put out. This piece goes here, and this piece goes there. And yeah, I was really surprised on that one when it started up and finally got to go home. Yeah.
Cool.
Other than that, like I said, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, guess that's all I got for you, Butch, unless
All
you
right.
got anything you want to talk about, anything coming up, or you on social media with gigs that are upcoming?
Yeah, just on my Facebook page, Butch Mattek. Summer's pretty much filled up already. Like Friday through Sunday I'll be playing, and then normally 4 gigs through that time, and then I take a couple days off, relax, and recoup, and do it all over again.
All right.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, appreciate
It's
yours.
nice
Thanks for
talking
coming
with
here.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to If These Woods Could Talk, a production of Rhinelander District Library and part of the WXPR Community Podcast Project, an initiative to amplify community voices. For more community podcasts or for podcasts produced by WXPR, go to WXPR.org and look for a Podcasts tab. Or just search for WXPR Public Radio anywhere you get podcasts. Also a special thanks to the Old Pine Road Band for the musical theme. To learn how you can record your own story of the Northwoods, or to suggest a topic or storyteller, contact the library or check out the website at rhinelanderlibrary.org.